Welcome to the Supreme Court Opinions Read podcast. This is just going to be sort of an introductory thing, speaking off the cuff to, introduce people into this podcast, what it is, why it exists, what to expect from it. So, as for what it is, fairly self explanatory. We are reading Supreme Court opinions. I will be trying to read all of the Supreme Court's opinions from the 2024 term onwards, and anything earlier than that, I will be picking and choosing from among the more important ones or influential ones or interesting ones, and reading from among those. I am open to suggestions, so if there's any opinions from before the 2024 term that you want to hear read, that I haven't read yet, feel free to suggest them, and if I'm interested enough, I'll include them. As for why this podcast exists, it's because as far as I can tell, no podcast like it exists yet, or at least not as far as I was able to find. I was hoping to find a podcast like this because I like reading Supreme Court opinions, and I don't like how long it takes me to read Supreme Court opinions. So I thought, man, wouldn't it be nice if I could find somebody who reads them in sort of the form of like an audiobook or something, that I could listen to at work. Then I can just blaze through Supreme Court opinions while I'm doing something else, and I don't have to take all that time in my free time to read through them all, because it's a lot, and they can be quite dense at times, and quite long at times, especially in the more controversial ones that have a majority opinion and multiple dissents and multiple concurrences, and it can be a lot. So that's why I wanted to make this podcast, because I'm going to read those opinions anyway, or I'm going to make an effort to read all of those opinions anyway, and figured other people might as well benefit too. I can bring something new, and something hopefully that other people are looking for as well. As for what to expect, like I said, I won't be reading every single Supreme Court opinion. It will just be from the 2024 term onwards, and then before that, just whichever ones I think are interesting or have been, or have been recommended to me. As for the reading of the opinions themselves, I'll be reading everything in full, all of the opinions, where they're not unanimous. I'll be reading majorities and dissents and concurrences and everything. But yeah, whole thing. The only caveat is I will not be reading a lot of the internal citations, because those would be very cumbersome to include in an audio reading of the opinions. They would break things up and make things, just, I feel, difficult to track on the listeners, and most of them, frankly, aren't necessary. The Supreme Court, in my opinion, likes its citations to an almost excessive degree. I will include citations where I think that they are relevant or important, and I will read footnotes, because I do believe that those are consistently relevant and important, and potentially interesting. And then at the end of each reading, I will give some of my own sort of commentary and opinion on the case and the Supreme Court's opinion in said case, and it'll be in this sort of format, just kind of free form, just talking off the cuff. And I am not any sort of legal expert. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. I don't study this for school or for a living or anything like that. This is just kind of a hobby and an interest of mine. So if you ever hear any of my sort of opinions or commentary and you think, wow, that sounds just like uninformed, or, like sort of a layman's understanding or whatnot, you very well might be right. But yeah, if you're not interested in hearing what I have to say about any particular case, um, again, it will just be included at the end. So you are more than welcome to just skip that part of things and move right on to the next episode or the next reading. And as for quality of the podcast, just in general, I am by no means all that experienced in this sort of thing. I haven't done a whole lot of podcasting, and really no serious podcasting. I only just bought my first proper recording microphone for this purpose. So all of that to say, don't expect greatness. You'll also note in my sort of free form off the cuff speaking, I am not a public speaker. I have a lot of like ums and uhs and whatnot and pauses to sort of collect my thoughts as my mouth outruns my brain a little bit. But I will do my best to make sure things are reasonably tolerable to listen to. Other than that, I think that's about it. That's about all I have to say, except enjoy.